Hey there, everyone. It's been a little bit since my last update, so I'll lead this with hello, welcome. It's nice to see you. If only this was live and not a video. Shaking off the nerves, getting used to doing the posty thing to social media and whatnot. That has been a little bit of an obstacle. Just a little bit. So, feel like I've been attempting to finalize my website and my physical business cards for a while now on my smart plan list thingy that I started back in August of last year as part of my The Producer's Path with Ill Gates course that I've been taking. I was shooting to have my website fully created and published by my birthday, back January 30th, and also have the business cards made by my birthday, January 30th. I was also supposed to have 30 DJ mixes uploaded to my SoundCloud. But of course, at the end of February, which was the deadline that I was giving myself, I had laptop issues that needed to be dealt with before they turned into really, really big issues. And even though I had just recently upgraded my laptop and had this one built, it turned into a bit of a charging issue where the charger was overloading all of the circuitry, the inner workings of my computer, with too much power. And if left unchecked for a little bit longer, it would have caused the blue screen of death to pop in and out of existence more frequently, to the point that all of my drives could have gotten fried. So I'm glad that I caught it. It's easy as your laptop not turning on when you hit the power button when it's plugged in. So, good to know. Good to know. That whole process took almost 2 weeks because the laptop couldn't just be fixed at the place where I created the laptop. No. They had to take all of the inner workings of the computer and ship it all the way to California. And then as soon as I got it back, what was that? Basically the 11th of this month, any and all momentum that I had going with all of this stuff reached the slowest crawl possible. But in other news, other departments, I've slowly but surely been getting my camping gear. That's the Hest foamy mattress and pillow back there. And other miscellaneous things that I wanted to snag before entering summer festival season. I think I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and some kind of cooling system. So 6. 6 items apart from actually getting the minivan that I would like to do a mini conversion so I can save on hotels and such when I travel domestically. But that update is for a later video. And seeing as I'm already at about 5 minutes, let me get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation. So today was day 2 of jujitsu, specifically jujitsu classes that I've signed up for at the behest or the commandment of my holistic doctor that I've been seeing regularly ish for the past year and change. And the main reason being that my sense of community, the friends, acquaintances, people that I, care about, that get the concept of just music, enjoyment, music festival life with all of the, sense of community and all of the quirks that we tend to not really get in our day-to-day lives unless we have close-knit groups of peoples. The waking up and saying, "Hello, good day. How was your sleeps? How was your yesterday? What sets did you get?" That kind of standard conversation doesn't really fly in normal day-to-day society. So that sense of community and friends and what have you fell by the wayside. And strange that through just a series of relatively harmless questions, my holistic doc determined that with the addition of a lack of community in the local sense, that I can essentially not only lean on, but feel like I have a strong foundation where I spend the majority of my time here in Virginia Beach. She pretty much told me, hard truth, that I was borderline severely depressed. And I know that that's not usually openly discussed in this kind of forum, wherever I post this, whether it be Instagram or YouTube or a combination of both. And by the textbook definition of being severely depressed, despite whatever positive outlooks and overall smiles and joy, and the fact that I have been gung-ho into signing up for all these different courses and doing my best to stick with them despite, lack of motivation and inspiration at times, even though I feel like this is something that brings me a lot of joy doing, mixing, singing random medleys and rap lyrics over other beats and doing flips in that way, shape, form, fashion. Despite all of that, it doesn't make up for the fact that I've had quite a lot of shifts in terms of close friends. I've gotten really, really strict about my boundary setting with a lot of people. And of course, when you cut people off that have been taking advantage of you for quite a while, and they haven't dealt with their own baggage, there's a tendency for them to project and lash out and ultimately make you feel like a shitty human being, even when at the end of the day you try to be that rock for others and for yourself. It gets heavy. It gets sticky. It gets cringe-worthy at times, to say the least. Beyond all of that, the doc wound up saying, "Hey, have you ever given any thought to doing an active sport?" And I said, "Well, I used to when I was much younger. For the most part, now my style of working out has been using a vibration plate, resistance bands, and a yoga mobility stick that I've been using as a bow staff, learning how to do that without whacking myself in the head or the balls too much." She determined, and I've taken 11 minutes to tell this story, but it took her less than 5 to basically say, "Hey, so you need an active sport in order to have that sense of community and camaraderie and friendship and whatnot. And based off of just where you're at, I'd recommend you joining some form of martial arts." And not even a recommendation. "Sean, when you leave this office today, walk into a martial arts studio and sign up for 10 classes. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Take this as the kick in the ass that you need to get the job done." So, of course, I researched local areas, local studios and whatnot. And right down the street from my place, there was a martial arts studio that does jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, kickboxing. Called them up and set it up because their online page wasn't working. Went to classes the very next day and proceeded to sign up for 20 classes. Which brings me to today. Today was day 2 of jiu-jitsu. And it went well. I stuck with it. Made it all the way through the hour. And realized that I have a lot of stretching and regaining some flexibility, endurance, and what have you coming up soon with all of that. It's funny, last week with class 1, the entirety of the top portion of my upper leg, so I guess that's what, thigh-ish area, that was completely and totally sore. The entirety of my chest, completely and totally sore. Abdomen, completely and totally sore. And I put in work. I proceeded to take the next, I went last Wednesday to this Wednesday. So I took exactly 1 week off to allow all of my muscles to repair themselves accordingly. Got them the necessary protein that it might need. And today, the only thing that really gave me issues was my hamstrings on both legs, and the fact that I took someone's almost full weight only for maybe a split second, but it was enough, right on my left wrist. And as someone who loves flow art, especially loving, I had like the "no, not my wrist" moment. Luckily, it doesn't seem to be too swollen, and I can still do the wiggle, 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 wiggle. So, I'm going to chalk that up to my body's resiliency being on point. All right. So this is, I think, attempt 6 or 7 at me doing this kind of video in the hopes that it keeps me inspired enough to finish one more thing on the productive way, at least one more thing. Especially since I really don't feel like doing it. Apart from the alternative, which would be me just watching more tutorial videos on YouTube or rewatching a movie or show that I've seen for a millionth time. Textbook, severe depression, massive weight loss, massive weight gain, loneliness. Slight isolation. Mind you, recommended isolation in order to, continue my own self work, shadow work. Apart from Pretty Lights last year, I took an entire year off of travel and shows. And I did that. Go me. And I even, this year, managed to attend, I think it's so far one show. Technically one show, yeah. I managed to go and attend one show and was completely sober for it. Not that that's ridiculously hard or anything, but I don't know, little mini accomplishment. Not that I need it or want it, but I still enjoy getting trippy with my friends, wherever they may be, which is pretty much the majority of all the states. Not Virginia. I think here in Virginia, I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 5. Yeah. 5 people that I can occasionally reach out to for, I don't know, powwowing, talking, chatting. Talking about just life, the universe, and everything. It's nerve-wracking just attempting to not hit the stop button because I feel a little bit like I'm rambling just a tad, just a skosh. Or to feel like doing this video is just another way to waste time. Another way to not sit here in front of my laptop, which I have booted up and booted down at least once every day since getting this laptop back. And in the span of, let's see, today's technically the 19th. So in the span of just over a week, all I've managed to do is order my digital business card from Mobilo, which that's nice. At least I got that. Also managed to get the foamy mattress, hammock chair, and a hammock to go with my hammock stand. So little things. guess I've made this video to show that even for people that seem like they've got it going on and got it together, there's still some surprises here and there. It's just kind of funny. And funny's probably not the right word, but it's kind of funny that the doc wound up diagnosing me with that borderline severe depression, and I didn't question it. I remember I suddenly recalled all of the psychology courses that I've taken since high school through college and realized that textbook definition, yep. Whoops. Question is, will I allow that to become my identity like it used to be back when I was growing up, severely in the throes of that victim-based consciousness? Because growing up, a lot of shit went down. When I got out the other side, all the stronger for it. When I was able to get to the point where I could accept myself for who I am, all my quirks, all the things that make me unapologetically me. Am I smiling or am I crying? I don't know. But oh, I forgot. I also wound up finally getting a bigger jar. There was a post on Facebook that talked about writing on a small sheet of paper every day for the entirety of 2025, one thing that you're grateful for, and then putting it into the jar. And then at the end of the year, you could read it all. Light it on fire, whatever floats your boat. That's kind of been helping. As much as writing gratitude things on sheets of paper and throwing it into a jar can help, I guess. Alright. This video, I feel, has gone on long enough. I'm going to try getting either the business cards done and ordered or the website published. If I'm feeling like overachieving, I'll do both. And then start working on the, I think I was on the hook theory, reading the entirety of and doing the interactive book of that for the producer's path, in between creating random melodies. So whatever I complete tonight will lead into what I do tomorrow in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I love you guys, and I hope that you're well. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. It helps spur me on in terms of making more videos like this, along with staying motivated to uploading these DJ mixes, even if they're still technically me in the training wheels phase, or even me just hopping into Ableton and making consistent moves there. It's what I want to do and learn to do and get done in between learning jujitsu and traveling / having fun. All right. GTFN. Ta-ta for now.